Hello, 7th and 8th grade chorus. This is not an assignment. I just wanted to say hi and say I hope you have a great summer. I'm just going to do a quick review with you of our music vocabulary that we learned this year in chorus, and also give you a link to some of the songs if you want to sing through some of them this summer when you're bored. And I'm also going to put all of this stuff on Quaver as well, so you can log in with your usernames and passwords. 8th graders, since you are leaving us, I did not make you your own Quaver names unless you completed some of your work on Canvas. So if you would like a Quaver name and you would like to log in and see that stuff, just message me on Canvas or Class Dojo. Okay, 7th graders, you have your Quaver names and passwords, and in the announcement where you found this video, the link is in there, so you can check those out, okay? So we're going to do a quick review, and then we will say goodbye for the summer. Here we go. Alrighty guys, so we're just going to quick review some of the vocabulary and things that we've learned this year in chorus, and some of it obviously from last year. A lot of this stuff we go over as we find it in the music that we're studying, so it's not something that we've necessarily identified in class and spent a lot of time on, but it is stuff that we have gone over and that you need to keep fresh in your brain for next year, and if you're going to continue in high school, 8th graders. So first of all, we talk about matching pitch, and there's kind of two ways that we do that. We can use solfege, which is a way for us to sing pitches in the scale, and another way that we can sing them is with our note names, A through G. And when we're reading them, we can either read it through solfege or we can read it through our rhyme for the lines on the staff, which is every good boy deserves fortnight or fudge and face in the space. Okay, so that refers to when we're labeling, like in our sight reading and reading it in our music. That's something that you have to be familiar with. Then we talk about rhythm. All of these rhythms are things that we have encountered in our music, and some of them are newer to us this year because our music gets harder as we get older and it gets arranged into different voicings. So just take a look at those. Things like tika T and T tika, we didn't necessarily highlight those in class, but those are rhythms that we are familiar with, and we'll refresh our memories next year when we get back to school as well. Everything else you should know, and not only what they look like, but how long they last. That's the important part. How many beats are they worth? And then we have our different voicings. So in middle school chorus, we go from just part 1, part 2 to SAB, which is soprano, the highest voices, alto, which is your middle voices, and baritone, which is your lower voices. Okay. So typically when your voice starts changing, boys, you go from the altos to the lower baritone voices because you can sing some of those lower pitches. Sopranos, you are singing the higher pitches, and I've placed you in that part because your voices can sing a little bit higher. You're a little bit more comfortable using your head voice, and altos are kind of in the middle, but sopranos and altos can sing all the same notes, okay? So those of you out there that think that you can't sing high or I can't sing low, you technically can sing all of those. Your voices are just changing and developing, and the more healthily you practice and sing, the more range your voice will end up having. Then we talk about harmony. Obviously, those are how we create harmony. Typically, the altos and the baritones sing the harmony notes in the music, and sopranos have the melody, but not always. And harmony is obviously singing more than one note at the same time. Then we do our rounds or cannons. A lot of these we do in our warm-ups, like our dynamite round and twinkle twinkle. When we do a 3-part round or a 2-part round, it means the same melody starts at different times. Okay. Then we've looked at, based on the different songs that we learned this year, we saw some different forms in our music. So these are just the parts and the structure of how the music is organized. The lyrics obviously are the words. I think you guys know this. This is all review. The verses are when you have the same melody every time, but the words might change, like verse 1, verse 2. Sometimes we call that part A. Then you have part B, or the refrain or chorus. That's basically the main tune of the song, and that repeats the melody and the words. It repeats every time the same way. Then sometimes we have a part C, which is the bridge. So that's like the bridge between the second chorus and the final chorus of the song. And it's usually different lyrics, different melody. It sounds different. It's very recognizable in your music. A lot of times this is where the most intense part of the music happens. Then sometimes we have an intro that's like a short piece that doesn't sound like anything else in the song. And then we've worked on figuring out these symbols, the coda, the DS-L coda, or the del signo sign, and where our phrases are in the music. So this just basically organizes it for us. A coda is sometimes an extra ending, so they'll write it with the symbol, so we don't have 20 pages of music, right? So they'll structure the song that way, so it's easier for us to follow. We should know all of these pieces of notation: the treble clef, the staff, measures, or bars, we call those, the bar lines. The double bar line is the end of the song. You know what a repeat sign is. And obviously the coda, the DS-L coda, del signo, all have their own symbols as well. Sometimes we see ties to our notes, so it ties one rhythm to the next. And sometimes we have an accent in our music. We didn't really go over that too much this year, so we will do that next year. Meter is pretty self-explanatory. We've done a lot of different sight readings in different meters. It's just how many beats there are in the measure, how our beats are organized. All right, sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 4. That's also called common time. So a lot of times instead of seeing 4/4, you'll see a big capital C on the staff, and that tells us that there's 4 beats in the measure. Dynamics and tempo refer to our expression. So we've talked a lot about that this year, especially with songs like You Will Be Found. The dynamics completely change how the music is expressed to our audience. So we're not going to be singing a really sensitive lyric with a really super loud dynamic, right? So we have to pay attention to these dynamic markings in our music. And same with the tempo. We don't want to have a really slow lullaby but sing it at a presto or fast tempo. That doesn't make sense, right? So this is how we express the overall mood of the music to our audience. And then these are all referring to singing technique, proper posture, proper breathing, tall vowels. Your blending is when you match your volume and your vowels to the rest of the group, not just as an individual, but as a part. So sopranos, I'm not going to have you sing a wide vowel and have everybody else sing a tall, or vice versa. We want to blend as a group so that we're singing as one voice. Articulation is when we can pronounce the words properly so the audience can understand the lyrics. That's when I yell at you, just give me more K's or M's or T's. That's so that our audience can hear it. And then our sight reading and warm-ups are pretty self-explanatory, right? So here's a list of our warm-ups that we've done this year, and we've done all throughout. You guys obviously really liked Counting Song, and Sing Alleluia we did once or twice. We didn't do that too many times, but we'll do that again next year, 7th graders. And then Dynamite, I think, was probably our favorite, and that was the 3-part round that we would do in the beginning of class to really get our energy going before we dove into our music. And these are all the songs that we learned this year. I did not put the Star Spangled Banner on here because we really didn't get to do that song justice. So we will sing that again next year. But these are everything. We did this for our multicultural festival. And then these 3 right here were our winter concert songs. And then obviously the 4 that we were practicing for the spring. So what I will do is post this document as a link in the description of the video so that you can click on these YouTube links if you'd like to sing through the songs and just kind of enjoy them again. Okay, guys, so I just wanted to quick help you log into Quaver as well so you can access these things if you want. In the announcement, I posted a link to get to Quaver, which will bring you here to this page. And then I also posted a link to your Quaver names and passwords. Your Quaver name is your first name, capital, and your last name, initial, capital as well. If you have apostrophes or anything in your name, I also included those. So be very careful. That might be why some of you have trouble logging in. And some of you, if you have like a common name or a Quaver name that was already taken, I put 222 after it. So be very careful of that too. Check that document, click on the link, and it will take you to the PDF document so you can see what your Quaver name is. So you type that in here, and then your password is music, okay? All lowercase, no spaces, no anything, all right? So when you log in, you are going to go to, now I'm going to use I'm going to use the student example, so don't pay attention to this right now. Okay? When you log in, you're going to go to assignments, okay? And this won't happen for you. This is just because I'm using the student example, so I'm going to click this. And this would be where all of your assignments are. And this is where the slideshow is going to be. It's going to show up in incomplete because I have to assign it to you for you to be able to see it. So it will be red, but again, it's not anything you have to do. It's just something you can access. So for example, in the red, you would click on it and then you'd click launch over here and it would pop up. Okay? If you have any questions, let me know. Okay, 7th and 8th grade chorus. So that was just a quick review of everything we did this year. And again, in the announcement, there is the link to get to Quaver, your 7th grade Quaver names and passwords. And 8th graders, if you're interested in logging in, let me know and I will get your Quaver name to you. You guys, again, this is not an assignment you have to do. It's just the end of the year review, and I will keep everything up on Quaver all summer so you can access that whenever you would like to, okay? I'm sorry that we didn't get to do our concert the way we planned. I know we've been working really hard on those songs. That's not to say that we will not bring them out again at another point. We'll keep those songs in our repertoire, and we will bring them out again. And next year, I'm not sure what chorus is going to look like. There's a lot of unknowns with going back to school, but that's okay. I do know that whatever happens, I thank you for your work this year in class. You guys did a great, awesome job. And I hope you have an amazing summer. And 8th graders, we will miss you. And I look forward to hearing all about what you're doing in high school. And I hope you guys have a great summer. Bye.